It's Friday night, and you know what that means. Fuck it, let's just get to it. I'm John Renton with my review of AEW Rampage. JR, Shivani, and Excalibur on commentary, and after last week's pretty decent edition, actually pretty good edition of AEW Rampage, they went right back to normal, and apparently they're reformatting it. Once Collision happens, it's going to be more like the Sunday Night Heat format. There's going to be matches, mostly recaps and stuff like that, so if you don't see me reviewing AEW Rampage after this week, don't be surprised. So, anyway, we have the Lucha Bros and Bandito against Ethan Page, Big Billy Willie, and Lee Moriarty. Oh boy, another multi-person match, and look, you know what you're going to get with the Lucha Bros and Bandito, and Lee Moriarty's a pretty good worker. Ethan isn't bad. Big Bill just stands there like a freaking, skyscraper that's about to fall over. And JR did not give a shit at all. He checked out within the first 30 seconds of the intro. And I don't blame him. I would have JR on Collision because he might be motivated to call some actual wrestling with people that he'd care about. And there's nothing wrong with anybody usually on these shows, but these matches just kind of are there. After a bunch of moves and a bunch of dives and everything, Ethan Page looks like he's about to get the victory, and then Matt Hardy runs out. Well, jogs out, trots out, barely, manages to get off his feet and get out there shuffling his feet. And Jeff Hardy says, I gave you some gifts also, and you haven't put them on. 2 gifts. It's Hardy armbands. And then while doing that, he puts on the armbands, he rolls them all up, and then Bandito hits a 21 plex finish, 1, 2, 3. They think this Hardy stuff is good, and it's not. So, why is QTV still on this program? On any program? Why? Just why? So, Forbidden Door hype. We get Hobbs against a guy named Caleb Crush, who tried a few things, but eventually fell to a spine buster. And they're still putting Hobbs with QTV, so he's toast. Hobbs looks great. They could utilize him so much better. Don't put him around with joke people. Renee is with Arn Anderson and Wardlow. Arn didn't sound so good. I hope he's all right. He says Brock is tough. He's getting tougher. He'll be all right. Wardlow says, you bother me. It's a real problem. I took down Samoa Joe. I took down so many others. But you target Arn, and now it's personal. And that he will face Jake Hager next week. Oh boy. Oh, dear. Hager. Speaking of people who shouldn't be on this program. And then he'll handle Luchasaurus, I guess. The Spanish Announcers Project. Angelico, Serpentico, and Luther. I don't care if they're backstage, but why? Like, Angelico isn't bad, but he hasn't really been great since his Lucha Underground days. And no. Serpentico and Luther? No. Just no. Just fucking no. Caster had one good line about Angelico looking like a cracked out Lauren Boebert. Who, by the way, I still hope that Lauren Boebert never finds out who her real dad is, because nobody that thinks like her deserves to know who their parents are, and really doesn't deserve anybody that might even think about loving them. They deserve to die alone and afraid. So anyway, the Acclaimed and Billy beat the Spanish Announcers Project. SAP, they're 3 real saps at it. This went through a break. Mic drop, 1, 2, 3. And then Renee's on stage with Team TNA, and okay, Karen looked like a crack hewer, as it were. Aubrey talks better than quite a few of the roster because Aubrey is very well spoken. Basically says they won't sanction a match between you and me. Mark Briscoe says, well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to have a 6-person tag. And Sanjay says, I can do math. You can do math, Sanjay. You just can't be anything other than an annoying little gnat of a character on camera. And I like Sanjay. Sanjay is a tremendous wrestler and can be a good mouthpiece, but not with this character. And basically, it's going to be Lethal, the Jarretts. They're going to put Karen in the ring because that worked out so well at Sacrifice 2011, 12 goddamn years ago, against Mark Briscoe, Aubrey Edwards, and Papa Briscoe. Okay. I don't think it's going to recreate what they did in Ring of Honor a number of years ago, but all right. Just as long as Karen takes the goddamn pin and is never seen on a wrestling program again. I never want to see her ever again. She is not worthy of even sniffing a wrestling program. And then Nyla Rose, Sky Blue, Britt, and Mercedes took on each other in a 4-way contenders match that Nyla at this point she's a great follow on Twitter, and she's a beast, and that's not even a play on words. She can be utilized better, but Mercedes, I believe, is competing on Ring of Honor. Britt has regressed horribly. Sky Blue won by pinning Nyla. I got nothing against Sky Blue. She's going to face Toni Storm, and they need to give Toni somebody to beat. That was a 1 hour cable broadcast. If you don't see another Rampage review after this, I'm sorry. It's kind of gotten to the point where there's not enough material, and even with the efforts of some of the talents, they're just matches that just exist. You can probably read the spoilers and not miss anything, and judging by how not a lot of people really watch that show, kind of makes sense. Anyway, nevertheless, agree, disagree with what I said, like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Rickland. So long, Rampage? Maybe? Kinda? Sorta? See you soon.